Hi guys, it's your coach Katelyn here. Today I just wanted to take an opportunity to talk about some hesitations we have when we are selling our product or services through Beachbody. So I was listening to a talk the other day by Robert Holden. It was on Hay House Radio. It's a free app with a ton of inspirational stuff. So I highly recommend downloading that. It's called Hay House Radio. But anyways, he was talking about, in his case, he was talking about life coaching and being able to price yourself appropriately and to be able to sell your services for life coaching. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of take his message and tweak it a little bit to help fit it into our Beachbody world and just explain some aha moments I have with it. So the first thing he really talked about, one of the initial hesitations we have is the value of the product you're selling. So in this case, oftentimes when we first start telling people about Beachbody products, if you're not confident in the product itself, you're going to have a tough time selling that. Obviously, most of us come into it believing in the products, but I think sometimes initially we have this hesitation that, well, even if it worked for me or worked for this other person, what if it doesn't work for this customer? And we really just have to be firm and give them the belief that they need to help it work for them. So I think the first thing is convincing yourself of the value of the product. I know when I first started introducing Shakeology and I would tell people the price, I would kind of mumble it. I could literally hear the volume of my voice drop when I said the price, and I just wasn't confident. But it wasn't until I saw my huge cholesterol drop 4 months into drinking it that I really was totally sold on the product. And after that, I had no problem telling everybody in the world they should be on this. And it can seem expensive at first, but if you break it down, the cost, it's really not even an additional cost. It's just a meal replacement. So the costs replace the price of a healthy meal anyway. But anyways, back to my point, you really have to convince yourself of the value of the product. So one of our vital behaviors, being a product of the product, is a huge part of that because you have to be using these products to really believe in them yourself. But I think it's also important to pay attention to other people's results and make sure that you're convincing yourself that not only can these products work for you, but they can work for anybody that takes advantage of them and really goes full force into the workout program or is drinking their Shakeology every day. The second thing is to convince yourself the value of the service. So one of the things that I had trouble with when I first became a coach was putting a challenge group out there and then worrying, what if people, what if the challenge group kind of flops, or what if people aren't interested, or what if people don't talk a lot in the group? And that has happened. That's happened many times where I've had challenge groups that weren't really successful, or it was like crickets in there. But ironically, even after some of those groups, I've had people tell me, hey, I really appreciated some of your inspirational messages. And these were people that I didn't even think were paying attention. So I think we have to convince ourselves of the value of the service. So you can't be afraid to put it out there what you're doing. And you have to know that even sometimes if it doesn't seem like it on the surface, that these services are extremely valuable, and you never know who you're inspiring and who you're motivating and whose lives you're touching. So I think an important way to get yourself to realize the value of the service is to really start paying attention to those testimonials. So ask people that you've worked with for testimonials, or ask them what they thought of the group. It can be a very casual way. And then start paying attention to the messages you're getting that say, hey, your message really brightened up my day, or your post really inspired me, or that challenge group really helped me stick with the program. I have a folder in my email where I keep all my Facebook notifications of messages or comments that I've gotten that were people saying they were inspired. So if I ever get discouraged or I ever feel like what I'm doing isn't making a difference, I go back and I look at all those messages and I remind myself that I am. So I think once we convince ourselves of the product, of the value of the product and the value of the service we're offering, because I know that all of you are making a difference. We know these are great products, and I know that all of you in your own unique way are able to really help people. So those values are there. You just need to convince yourself that they are there and build your own self-confidence by paying attention to the positive feedback you're getting. So once you convince yourself of those two things, the value of the product, the value of the service, really the only thing left is the pain barrier, is how Robert Holden described it in his talk. And for us, that's hearing people say no, because there are plenty of people that we will reach out to and be talking to about a program that will end up saying that it's not right for them or that this isn't the right time. And we hear no's a lot. So I think for us, the easiest way to get over the pain barrier is to reframe it. I just got back from Summit 2014, which is our Beachbody annual conference, and Darren Hardy talked about loving failure, and so did our CEO Carl Zeichler. And try to fail as much as you can fail, and go for no, which means try your hardest to get as many of those no's, because statistically you will eventually come up with a yes, you know. So I think over time and with experience and with practice, we can reframe it to be a fun thing, and to know that those no's are a part of success and part of the path to success, and it doesn't have to be a painful thing, but it is an initial pain barrier that we have to get over. The other thing that you can do to get over that pain barrier is when you get a no or when you get discouraged, come talk to me or talk to your coach or talk to your other friends that are in this, and we'll all commiserate together, and then we'll move on and we'll move forward. And it's as simple as that. And it doesn't have to mean that you're not a good coach, and it doesn't have to mean that your business isn't moving forward or that you're not going to be successfbe at it. It's just something that everybody deals with. So I think over time, when you can convince yourself that those no's are completely normal, it won't be a pain barrier anymore. It'll just be a normal part of the process that won't even faze you. So that's the message for today. Make sure you're convincing yourself the value of the product, the value of the service, and then reminding yourself of those ways to get past that initial pain barrier of hearing no, and you will be on your way to success. So good luck, everyone.